So now, what about personally, Steve? What impact did it have on you
Well,
personally?
what was interesting as I was watching it, I found that some of the things that I had done in my life almost were ingredients of The Secret. For example, I like entering sweepstakes, and when I first started entering sweepstakes, I didn't win too much because I thought, well, I'll enter this sweepstakes, but I know I'm not going to win anyway. And then I changed my power of thinking. I decided to visualize, and that's one of the techniques that they use in The Secret.
Right.
I entered a sweepstakes where the trip was going to Hawaii. So I got brochures on Hawaii. As I filled out the entry forms, rather than be all intense about, oh, I've got to fill out 1 million of these, I just could picture myself on the beach, enjoying the sunset and feeling the warmth, and it sounds very new agey. But after that point, changing my whole way of thinking, I started winning a lot of things.
Wow.
But what I learned from The Secret, though, is you can apply it to your whole life, that there's not just one. And even listening to myself, I think, this sounds like I've been brainwashed.
Yeah, it does sound like you're about to ready to drink the Kool-Aid.
Right.
Well, put on the Nikes.
Right.
One example they gave is that people use electricity every day,
Yeah.
and they don't know the inner workings of how it actually works. You flip the switch and there's the light.
Exactly.
And they were saying it's kind of the same thing with The Secret. Once you start practicing the ways, it's working for you. However, it's still a little bit hard to define why it's working, and there's really no need to spell it out specifically.
And that's exactly, and we never question it. We just flip a switch, and we expect the light to come on. But for some reason, we have trouble understanding this thing. Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
It's just bizarre. How about you, Debbie?
Well, I probably have done a little bit of this before. You know, I actually read the book, so I was sort of surprised, as Steve was, to find that, oh, I think I've already done some
Exactly.
of this,
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Because I think that the law has sort of been around for a long time, and you hear it from various people, you know. So you can work it with, you know, on the other side with other people, because when I taught, you know, these are kids that were in trouble, and the moment that you find all the good in them, and the moment you just say, you're good, I love you, I think you're great, and versus, why did you do that, you know?
Exactly.
They respond. I mean, I'm telling you, kids respond so quickly to positive reinforcement and what, you know, and in a matter of a week, you know, these kids are, you know, doing so much better and everything. So I think it works both ways, not only for yourself, but actually to think of others in a really great fashion. And they actually say this in the book too, you know, to find the positive.
And what about you, Alex?
Yeah.
How have you been impacted by watching?
Well, let me tell you. Okay, like before I saw the show on Oprah, because that's where I saw it. During this whole period, I was going through I guess it was a midlife crisis. I was enraged at everything. Like everything pissed me off. You know, friends would call and I would think, oh God, they're bothering me. I would watch, you know, television and think, this is all crap. It was just, I was getting worse and worse and worse, and I felt disillusioned and sort of disenfranchised with everything. Like it wasn't depression, it was more like, what is the point? You know, everything is bad, everything is wrong, the world sucks. And
everything kind of builds on, and it spirals,
exactly.
and it becomes
and I
a
was
vacuum.
spinning. I'm spinning around and sitting there, you know, chain smoking, thinking, what am I going to do? What, you know, I don't want to do anything. Nothing could break me out of it. And then I saw this thing on Oprah, and then I started looking at, you know, what is it that I'm focusing on? And I realized that I was focusing on all these negative things, and it just kept building and building and building to this point where I was just losing it. I was losing it. Somehow, just knowing that calmed me inside, which was kind of a strange thing, but it did calm me. And like you were saying, that it's not something that you've just heard or something that you just take, you know, at face value, but you've kind of already know these principles. So that's what it was like for me. It was like having all the pieces of the puzzle, and then The Secret comes along and it gives you the bigger picture of how that puzzle should go together. And so now I'm in the process of putting the pieces together.